This Sunday. Every Sunday, side by side at the microphone, from the green light to the speed trap, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino calls them as they sees them, and you better believe them. Here, relevant news, biased opinions, and outright bullshit regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gasp at mechanical trickery never before revealed over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrill to the explosive tension as Chris and Ray cuss each other down the track and barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands for the devil. All that and much more this Sunday at high noon on the Motormouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and live feed, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free. Every Sunday at noon on WHPC. Take the Long Island Expressway to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the sign saying no parking on the expressway and no express service on the parkway. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass. Sunday!
All right, rollicking as we are, you've tuned in to Motormouth Radio, Long Island's only automotive talk show, with your hosts, Ray Guarino, Chris Switzer. How are you, Chris? I see you sliding into home plate, getting...
Oh, yes. When I hear the collegiate music, I know it's time for Motormouth Radio, at least the very old collegiate music.
Yeah. Well, we don't have any new collegiate music, so we have to use what we got. What can I tell you? What can I say?
So, yeah, scraping off the audio crumbs from around the inside of the aluminum pot. There you go.
We're good at that.
Yes. And a joyous day it is. You know, it started out all crummy. It was raining. Woke up this morning. I was like, it's going to be one of those days. And all of a sudden, the sun came out. It's nice and bright and shiny. It's almost TDW, top-down weather. I'm almost going to put on something flimsy and dance the night away. That's what I'm looking forward to today.
Okay.
How about you?
Now that you covered John's phone call,
yeah, exactly.
I will tell you that you're right, because I did. I'm driving top down today. I took the Fiat. I drove it out, and
how's your brakes?
Yeah, you know what? Passable, acceptable. You know, like we spoke about, they're not what I would want them to be. Mm-hmm. Certainly not optimum, I don't think, for what I think brakes should be. But they'll get me by.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way about the truck too. The truck has brakes that like I say, they stop. It's really it. It's really all you can say is that they stop. It actually feels, the brakes on the truck almost feel the same as the brakes on the Chrysler. And the Chrysler does not have power brakes. It is the first vehicle I have ever owned that is manual brakes. And I'm astonished how well they work in relation to how hard you have to push the pedal.
Yeah. Well, they were designed that way, so that's a plus. They were designed to do that. So, you know,
the pedal is literally it's a huge chunk of metal,
and I know.
Yeah, and it's for
you can describe the rest of the car that way too.
Yeah, it truly is.
You know,
it truly is. But while we're on the subject, I got to bring something up to you. Yeah, I was chuckling. I was working on the carburetor because I had yet another stuck float on the Holly 4160, and I was all ready to chuck it through the garage door.
Okay.
When I said, let me just do this. And I went online and I said, what can cause and how can you remedy a stuck float on a carburetor, on a Holly? And a guy, one of the forums, I started reading. And you know how when you are confronted with a forum, you don't just read every word. You kind of skim through it. All right, he said this. Okay, he said that. All right, he said this. You know, it's a waste of time to read everything about what everybody's comments are. So a guy had a Corvette, had the same carburetor, had the same problem, and I'm going through all of these forum answers to his question, and I get to the bottom one, and some guy said, "Hey, have you thought about changing the fuel filter?" And I went, Son of a gun.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. What type of filtration do you have? But
It's just, unfortunately, it's a simple inline
well,
buck 50
yeah,
gas filter.
and I'll say this: unless a filter comes apart
Mm,
and then puts debris into the stream, which
right.
rarely, I don't know if I've ever seen that happen, then the worst that'll happen is the filter will clog and you won't get enough fuel flow to the carburetor. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, the filter is always a good, cheap thing to do, but that usually doesn't. But then again, I will say this: the most common cause of a stuck float is a little piece of dirt in the needle seat valve,
And
which has
that's
to go
what,
through the filter.
right. And that's what this guy said. He said, all you need is a microscopic piece of dirt to ruin your day. And
Well,
I thought,
a little bigger than that.
let me look at it. So I see the filter is like right in front of me. And
Right.
I flicked it with my finger like that. And up came like this brown,
Ah,
gray brown
yeah,
mushroom cloud in
gotcha.
there. I went, that's gotta go.
Yeah.
It was, the sediment was so sedentary. It
Hmm.
was way at the bottom
Well,
and I didn't even see it.
that's the definition of sediment.
Yes.
It kind of lays at the
Yes.
bottom.
Lays at the bottom.
Yeah.
So yes, the sediment was sedimenting.
Well, when
So
you took the carburetor apart, you've had it apart a few times. Did you ever
yeah.
notice anything in there or
Um,
see anything in the needle seat? I mean, I've
nope.
actually seen a lot of those needle valves have a Viton, a rubber Viton conical tip. I've seen those break apart also. And
Yeah.
then now now it's just flowing fuel like crazy. It'll come out of the vent tube at that
And I remember those transmissions too, those Vitons.
point. Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
back
are
in
good ones.
Brooklyn.
But
Mm,
yeah, so okay,
Viton.
that's
So yeah,
that's
I
really
swapped that.
carburetor 101,
Yeah, I know. It was like going back to the basics again. I said, let's try it. Why not? So I popped it off, and yeah, it looked like a milkshake in there.
Okay.
And I dropped another one on. I had another inline in stock, so I threw it on there, and I drove it around. So I'm still in the middle of danger driving the car yet again
Yeah.
to make sure that the problem is not remedied because the carburetor is a piece of junk,
I,
but somewhat quelled
I'll
for
tell you,
now.
my friend Rick needed a filter. And I told him, I said, "Oh man, I have some in stock at home." And I realized, like, ooh, I'm really getting low. And it used to be, all right, next trip to Englishtown, I'll pick up and
Yeah,
three of you. I would get the different sizes. I get the small ones I would actually use on the lawnmower or whatever. Then there's
yep.
the medium size, and there was the bigger one.
The big one, the barrel
And
size.
I'd get
Yeah,
a couple of each.
yeah. They were
And
like a buck a piece. It was
yeah,
great.
well, now I got to go to Rhinebeck and get them. And that's what we did last year. Went to the Rhinebeck swap meet and I stocked up on fuel filters because you got to have those.
Those were literally the last bastions of what you can buy at Englishtown, were those gas filters and the blue pants.
Oh, those are my favorite. And
To
don't even
get
bring it up
to
because
get these blue pants right here.
that's a real sore spot with me because I'm at all the ones I had.
I know.
The knees are gone. And I can't even use them. And
I
yeah.
actually stumbled on these. I never wore them. They were sitting in the back of the closet. I'm like, oh, it's like I found the holy grail.
Wow.
These blue cotton pants.
I'll
It's
tell you
amazing.
something else that I can't find. Well, I can find it, but I'm not paying the price that they want.
Wow.
Just a stupid little thing, slice of life. In my Fiat many years ago, I had put in an audio system, an AM/FM cassette receiver in the dash, and I put the
Mhm.
CD changer in the trunk, and
So you could listen to your Foghat live. I got it.
I listened to a lot of different things. Yeah, I mean, you heard my Saturday Night Fever on the Parkway at 70 miles an hour. You were behind me
I did. I did.
because I found at a swap meet again
I did.
a pair of really cool. Now the convertible, you're compromised. Well, I
Right.
found a way to not be compromised. I saw these speakers laying on a table, and they were in an enclosure, like a little wedge-shaped enclosure. They had a
Mhm.
grill on them, and it was a matching pair. And they had some kind of mounting, apparatus on the back. And I said, "Hey, listen, what are these? He goes, yeah. I don't know if they work. Can I pull a grill off? Yeah, I pulled the grill off. I saw they had a 4x6 coaxial in there with a base port. I said, okay, I can put a set of Pioneer speakers in there. And I
Okay.
think I gave the guy $20 for the pair. One of the best buys I ever made. It ends up,
Really?
he told me they were out of a Pathfinder and they mounted up on the ceiling way back by the tailgate and pointed forward.
Yes.
Genius. So I put those on my kick panels, on the right and left kick panel. facing me. And then I put a set of tweeters up on the windshield to give me the highs, and I put a Bazooka bass tube in the trunk. Hence, you could hear Saturday Night Fever behind me at 70 miles an hour on the Parkway.
Bleeding through the cracks in the seam of your trunk. Yes.
Sounded great. Well, that Bazooka tube a friend had given me, and he said, yeah, I think it's got a problem with the wiring. So I kind of spruced it up, fixed it, put it in, worked great. Then I fixed,
That's a nickname I've called you many times.
Bazooka, I know. Tube. Yes. And I love that too. I wear the patch on my shirt. I fixed it 3 times. I actually had a hard wire, a power wire right into the board. Mm-hmm. Well, it finally, about a year or so ago, it gave up the ghost again, stopped working. Oh. So I took it apart, and of course, there's electronics on the board that are proprietary. You can't, they burn the rings off the chips. So I've been looking for one, but there's not many swap meets around, and not many that I go to. So just yesterday again, I told my wife, said, you know what, I got to look again. I go online. I tell you something, they still sell them new. And some guys were getting like $300 for these things. The average price, about $150. I said, no, I'm going to find one of them for like $20 somewhere.
Some kid will be selling it on a picnic table.
So I found a guy that had 2 of them on eBay, and he wanted $200. So $100 a piece is actually not a bad. At this point in time, it's getting to be like that's about what you're gonna. You know what, you got to pay what the market will bear.
But also listen to what you're saying. You're going to have to buy 2 of these. So you're going to, spend a modicum amount of money, $100 a piece for them. But now you only got 1 car they're going in. Unless you're putting in another one in another car, you're going to have to store. La Forta del Destino.
You have a spare.
Oh, good idea. Right? You have a spare. Now, these things aren't small. I mean, it's bigger than the bread box. So you got to find shelf space for this thing. You can't leave it on the floor. And last I heard, young man, your shelf space is pretty limited.
Very true. Well, what else is limited is our time here. So we should take this call. Let's go to the phones and say, hi, caller. You're on with the Motor Mouths.
Yeah, my ears were ringing.
Okay. I figured I just cut to the chase and just we can get to the meat of the call.
You can just say hello, John. You know who it is, but right. With changing speakers and going back 30 years ago, I'm sure that a lot of the speakers that could have come from the factory would have been better, but they were trying to cut down on weight. Because all the aftermarket speakers had magnets on them that were like, oh my God, you got better bass and everything out of them.
Yeah.
But they weighed more.
Right.
Yeah. Food for thought.
Mm-hmm. Very true, John.
I've looked, the Bose system in my Vet, and even I got the upgraded audio package in my Ram. Everything that I read on the forums is, change the speakers, put these in. The speakers are better, but they've got bigger magnets on them.
Yeah, it's a bigger magnet, it's better cone material. I've done a lot of swaps like that. Just upgraded the factory speakers with a known good aftermarket, and everybody has their favorites. I like Pioneer car speakers. I always have. It's always been my favorite. And I do, you do hear a difference. I have at least.
And the standard 6x9 goes right in. You bolt it right in. It's no big deal.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But so if you come in your travels, if you come across a powered Bazooka tube, it's got to be powered because I wasn't running a separate amp for this thing. I'm in the market because the guy didn't. I offered the guy $100. I said, I'll give you, and there was a you could leave a note. So I said, okay, let's try this. I said, you know what? I said, I don't actually need these. I put need in capitals. I said, I don't need these. I said, but I tell you what, I want to do a project. I want to put one of these in each of my grandkids' cars and sit and watch their face when they turn on whatever music it is that they like to listen to these days. I figured, maybe I'll strike a chord. No, he just said, no, I'm not taking you off. Go pound sand, buddy.
I'm not looking forward to your cleverness. No,
who cares? So I am looking for a Bazooka tube. I have been for a while. I can always just go and I actually do have a couple of 8-inch subwoofers. I could actually go wire up an amp and put a subwoofer in the back, but I didn't want to get that involved. So I don't know.
Yeah, I
But it
love
does.
subwoofers unless they're driving past the front of my house. I hear them a block away.
Well, you can listen to a subwoofer the right way, and you can listen to them the annoying way. And
Yeah.
it's a low pass filter that's needed. It's really just made to fill in. My FJ has a factory subwoofer in the back, and I tell you, once I crank the music up past a certain point, it really does fill in really, really nicely. It really makes the soundstage. That's if you appreciate the sound of music. Some people just want a radio, they turn it on, they don't care. I like it.
And you do have one of the better systems in a convertible, because the convertible car itself is not a place to put good audio. It just doesn't work. It gets filtered out. You need the roof of the car to kind of enhance the audio experience. And when you don't have that roof, you don't have that experience.
And windows up, because if you've ever been in a car, even with a good system, and just roll the windows down, you'll hear that sound just go away.
Yeah.
So it does reflect off all the surfaces. So,
but you can't drive a convertible with the windows down, with the windows up. I'm sorry. You have to drive a convertible with the top down, windows down.
It doesn't. Yeah, I'm thinking like if the top
time of year, Chris.
Still got to do it, John.
No, when it's 40 degrees, I still take the convertible out. I crank the heat and keep the windows.
Yeah, I'll put the windows down on 40 degrees. I'll do it.
But I'm saying, if you're in the convertible, the top is up, windows are up because it's winter. That's when you're going to get the best sound stage as well. That's it. That's it. All right, John. So
I can buy a convertible to drive it with the top down.
Yeah.
Top up.
Top up. Right.
Right. No, I get it.
So keep an eye out for a bazooka tube for me, John. I'm a buyer.
All right. I've been hitting the car nights, but they don't have a lot of swap meets at any of the ones that I go to.
Yeah.
No, eBay ruined that. That swap meets used to be the best thing. Twice a year, we used to go to Englishtown. It was a cavalcade of stuff to buy and sell. Sure. Now eBay completely ruined swap meets.
Right.
Shame.
Got it.
The other thing for consideration too is the source of what you're playing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In what way?
I bit the bullet, and I don't know if I can even say this, but Sirius XM, but I bought like a Bluetooth FM converter for the vet.
Okay. Yeah.
And I wasn't enamored. It was okay. And I bit the bullet and said, you know what? They have a 3-month free, and I reactivated the Sirius XM.
Okay.
Wow, what a difference!
Yeah, you know what? I have Sirius in a couple of the cars. I have a portable one I use in the garage or in my house. But on my phone, since I have the program, I have the app on my phone, and I could Bluetooth it to another device, to a Bluetooth device. So yeah, there's a lot of ways of doing it.
Yeah, the only problem with that is it works off of FM into the radio. And, every time you do a conversion, and you know this better than I do, something gets lost.
Well, sometimes, yeah. There's you pay to play.
And I could tell you, it definitely, and maybe I bought the wrong Bluetooth FM bada B for the
right.
And then you also got, depending on where you're driving with it, what's good as an unused FM station where I live. Now I drive from here to, WHPC headquarters.
Right.
And now it's no longer a good FM.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. You may go into a region where that frequency is being used. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the Sirius XM, wow, what a difference!
Oh yeah.
In the vet, and I can max out the Bose system, and wow, it sounds awesome.
That's like I said, that's why with my trips down south, I rent a car, and the one thing I always tell, listen, I'm paying for the Sirius package, put it on. I want to pay for the. And the one guy looked at me. I said, "Listen, if you ever driven down to the south without satellite radio, it's like all you're doing is you're just scanning channels because
that's how I found Gun Talk.
I know, but because you hit some spots in Virginia, you're not getting much of anything.
No, you hit the hills. You're not getting,
Yeah.
you're not getting anything.
Yeah, I've done the trip from where I live down to the Keys,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, you got to have Sirius XM
Yeah, yeah.
because otherwise you're channel surfing.
Yep, that's all you do.
You know, it's funny, John, because that's what we did just cruising around in the 80s was definitely radio channel surfing. You're constantly going from station to station. That's how I found like pirate radio. That's how I found college radio, because you're just bouncing around, and that's what you're doing. You figured out a way to drive, put your elbow on the armrest and have your fingertips on the radio itself to do that sort of. You figured out that sitting position
The dance,
to get the optimum, because I don't think I ever heard a single song in its entirety in the 80s.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was either 8 tracks or when they came out with cassettes.
Yeah.
And then CDs. And when they came out with, you can play MP3s, and you can load like a gazillion MP3s.
Oh, yeah.
Into and burn your own, mix.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
oh my God, that was the.
And I'll tell you what, just like vinyl made a revival a couple of years ago, all that stuff, the digital stuff now is now making a revival with people. And I'm glad that I have a car. Well, I have 2 cars, right? My Fiat and the Camry both play cassettes and CDs. But neither has satellite radio. So, all right, John, we'll enjoy the topless day. I am too, because it feels good to have that.
Yeah, Chris, you nailed it. It didn't start out as a good topless day, but
No.
are you wearing something flimsy?
I'm going to go put on something flimsy right after the show.
Got it. All right, John, thanks a lot. Enjoy the day.
And you guys as well.
All right, thanks, John.
Take care, John.
All right, you can be like John. 516-572-7440 is the call line. Do we have a text line?
We do. We still do. 203-670-4127. 203-670-4127 will get you right into my hot little hand.
And follow us on Facebook, Motormouth Radio, Instagram, real_Motormouth Radio. Of course, we put the show up on YouTube, where we have 2 channels, Motormouth Radio and Motormouth Video, which ran neck and neck this week pretty much, which was kind of odd. Yeah, it's always kind of odd. And I will put pictures up from things we're talking about on the show. There's always something. But one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about was, since I had the Fiat in the back.
Just interrupt you 1 second. Jim just texted us. He said that he doesn't know, he saw, but the fall Englishtown swap meet this year is canceled. And he said for reasons that we point out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. I put that one too. I don't know why, but yeah, it's El Morta. They probably had to put in more, maybe bus parking now. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So,
but you were saying, I'm sorry.
So then, I had the Fiat in the back because I was doing the brakes. It was right in front of the garage. And like I said, I've always said this, whatever I have in front of me is what I'm going to work on. So there I am at night sitting there, just, in the evening. I'm looking at the car. I wander over and I said, there's always little things you want to do to the car that you don't have time to do.
Sure. One
of the things that happened to me recently, well, I think it started last year, is the left directional wouldn't work. The right would, I could take off, drive the car. Both directionals would work fine.
The Fiat.
Yes. And then maybe not in that trip, maybe in the next trip. At some point, I put that left directional on and it wouldn't do anything.
Would just stay on, like it would brighten?
No, nothing. No light, no flash, nothing. It wouldn't do anything.
Okay.
Put the right directional on and it would flash, the light would flash, everything was fine. Okay, so you wiggle the switch, you're doing this, doing that. I was checking the flasher. Well, as of last year, I hadn't solved the problem. I did find a good diagnostic for the flasher. But of course, when I'm checking it, everything's working. So I'm not finding a fault. And
I love when that happens.
Yeah. So I was chasing my tail on it. So this week I said, you know what? Just the other night, I said, I have a spare steering column. And I took it apart and I found out it's the hub that has the It has a windshield washer level on the right side.
The washer.
Windshield
Yes.
washer. And
Yes.
on the left side has the directional lever and the high beam switch.
Okay.
So when I took the wheel off, I expected to see something serviceable in terms of that the cancel cam. No, it's that whole hub with the arms, the whole harness that goes down. And I look it up on one of the Fiat sites I use, and that's how you have to. There is no other replacement. You replace the whole thing. Luckily, it's only about $89, believe it or not.
But still,
I paid that for the cancel cam for my Pontiac.
That's a tank of gas in your Toyota.
So yeah, so I was looking at it, and I said, okay. So I wanted to go in and maybe see if I could clean contacts or maybe some. No, it's kind of like not serviceable, believe it or not, which is very, very weird. So I decided to go and hit it with connections. So I went under the dash. I'm playing with the connections, and Fiat uses what's called a ground floret. And of course, we all know most of the problems you're going to find are going to be traced to a bad ground sooner or later.
To me, that sounds like what you'd call a bad word to a ground.
So
you ground floret you.
Here's a ground floret.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. It looks like a piece of tin castle nut.
It looks like a crown because each one of those terminals, what you do is, let's see if I can do this. You put a wire on it. It takes a female spade connector.
Got it.
Right onto the terminal.
Right onto the terminal.
So Fiat is
pretty smart.
So of course, there's two of them under the hood, one on each fender that grounds those things. This one is right under the dash, and this has 7 or 8 terminals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 8 terminals. I think the one under the dash, I have 7 grounds on there. A couple, most of factory, a couple with things that I had put in, and
I'm assuming the hole in the center is where you mount it with a screw with a bolt.
Right now, that point is now suspect to where does that ground, because that's a body ground. Right. And now I did over the years start optimizing the grounds on that car. There was no ground from the battery's in the trunk. There was no ground from the engine to the battery. The battery grounds, the negative post of the battery grounds to the body in the back of the car. So again, they're using body ground. And then of course the engine does ground, or the transmission grounds to the body. It's a monocoque design. So I ran a battery cable from the front of the car all the way to the back. Right. Good. And I also ran a ground cable, a 4-gauge cable from the engine block over to that one ground floret, which is the body ground. And I grounded the alternator ground over also. This is what you got to do. So, and I've had good luck. My voltage is solid. I mean, the car charges fine. So again, I just attacked the floret. I took it out, cleaned all the terminals, cleaned the dash. I used star washers under it so it would bite.
Right.
And no directional. Then I took out, I was afraid to do this, but I did it anyway. I took the middle of the dash out, and there's a hazard flasher switch, which has always been flaky in my car.
Okay.
So like you push it in, when you take it off, rather, it doesn't always stay in that position. Sometimes it would click off, and then the directionals don't work. So you'd have to push and just get it in the right position. Well, I found out what that is. I took that switch apart yesterday, and there's a metal arm with a little nub on the top of it.
Okay.
And in the switch, believe it or not, there's a plastic channel that has a groove in it that comes up and like kind of around like a little loop.
So they have to mate together.
Well, the nub follows the track and comes around and stops. And that's what seats that switch. So I'm like, why isn't it seating? So I said, maybe that arm, I bent the arm a little bit. I bent it, made it a little tighter.
To give it more tension.
Okay. Still didn't have directionals. So then I said, all right, let me go to the ground florets under the hood, check them out. And I did. Everything looks good. I went to the back of the car, and then my taillights have circuit boards in them. And the connector that goes onto them is an edge connector that grabs onto the circuit board.
Okay.
So I went to the left side, and I took the edge connector off, the big one off the lights. I took the small one off, cleaned them, blew into them, figured that this probably isn't going to be the issue.
No, that's not gonna help.
And then when I started playing, with the bazooka tube that was back there because it was right in front of me. And next thing I look down, I see the directionals flashing. I was like, hey, look at that.
What was that?
Tied to the bazooka tube, baby. So, no, I don't know. It was probably one of those connectors in the back. I don't think it was something I did in the front.
Oh, son of a gun. It was that connector.
Again, it came down to a connector and the corrosion, and they weren't really corroded, but you don't need the point is you don't need a lot to break a circuit. And I have to believe that just by mechanically moving those connectors on the edge pin of the circuit board, made a better connector. So now, of course, and now the directionals are working fine. If they go out again, I'll go right to the back, and then I'll do maybe more of a forensic. Maybe I'll pull the housing apart, take the light. I should have brought one in. I have a spare light, the board. I'll put a picture of it up on this week so people can see it. But again, the point of the thing is never underestimate a ground. You know, Joe used to always say, what part of a bad ground don't you understand? 9.5 out of 10 times, it's going to be a ground that's going to be your problem.
Yeah, he is so right. And it's funny because I've even taken it that much further. Anytime I see a ground, I just pull the bolt off, clean it, put it back on. I just have to see it. Yes. Or when I was working on the Explorer, I had to pull the valve covers off it to change the VTT solenoids. Right. And there in that process, you have to remove 2 grounds. So I didn't even know they were there. I went, oh, okay, pull the ground and clean the bejesus out of it and put it back on again.
If it's electrical, it'll have a ground.
Yeah.
And sometimes it grounds through the mounting, like a temperature sensor, whatever. But yeah, there'll always be a ground. All right. So the other thing that's grounded us is the bottom of the hour. We need to take a break. And I guess the first thing we should do is
weather. Well, right now for Toronto, Hamilton, and all the cottage country, except the extreme north, we're going to have skies that'll be as clear as a bell. And if I'm wrong, I bet you come in here and wring my neck tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, we get that all the time. We got ligature marks. So the weather update, yes, our WHPC weather forecast is powered by Pantano's Gourmet with locations in Hewlett and Uniondale. And like I said, it started out like a crappy day. It was raining. Right now, it's beautiful. When I look outside the WHPC weather window, I see blue skies, a little bit of clouds. High today is supposed to be 80. Tonight, clear skies and about 64. It's been getting cooler. We were out on the deck last night. My wife put her sweatshirt on. I was like, I don't know about that yet, but,
My heat wave is no longer for this year. I was hoping for another heat wave. Didn't get it.
No. You got to call Martha Reeve and see if she'll cook one up for you. Tomorrow, mainly sunny with a few afternoon clouds, high of 79. Tomorrow night, mostly clear, low of 62. So that's kind of nice. Also, WHPC invites you. Yes, you.
Me?
Well, you too. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Celebrate summer at the Harry Chapin Lakeside Theater at Eisenhower Park, Field 6.
The illustrious Field 6.
This week, it's Thursday, August 27th. Join us for American Idols. See, if it was Motormouth Radio sponsoring it, we'd have to have the show. We'd have to have American Idling. But they didn't ask us, so it's American Idols on the 27th.
I'd say the crowd would be these grouchy old men. That's all that would be there.
Show starts at 7 p.m. It's a free community event. Bring a lawn chair and enjoy the show. So with that, do we have an honor group of the hour?
We do. And on the third half of this program, I want to talk about how crud got in my way and ruined my day as well. So want to get into that. But also, we have, of course, our archive shows that are available on Carcourse Media, CarcourseMedia, carcoursemedia.com. We have a cavalcade of stars. Back on March 9th of 2003, myself and, of course, our illustrious prior co-host, Steve Broncatello, interview Harold Michaelman from Surf Glass, which is always a good time. And then again, on November 7th of 2010, you and I sit down with Frank from Centurion Cruisers and Barry from Neighbors Auto. And of course, on June 6th of 2021, you and I sat down with the ever popular Steve Magnante. So those are the shows we have up this week on Car Course Media. And now taking a look at the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour. This week, if you are part of the Folding Chair Commandos, those seasoned car show veterans who arrive prepared for anything. They've got the folding chairs, the cooler, the umbrella, the sunscreen, the snacks, and enough supplies to survive a weekend at the show. They stake out their territory early, unfold their chairs, sit back, and settle in for a full day of cars, conversation, and questionable decisions about buying another project car. And don't even think about parking your chair in their spot. They've been coming to the show for 20 years, and that's their spot. They know when the best cars arrive, where the shade moves, and as the day goes on, and exactly how far they are from the bathroom. So here's to the men, the women, who understand that enjoying a car show isn't just about cars, it's about being comfortable while you look at them. To the Folding Chair Commandos, we salute you! You are this hour's Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour this week. There you go.
Excellent. Very good.
Thank you.
So with that in mind, we will take our break. We'll be back shortly with more Motormouth Radio with Ray Guarino, Chris Switzer on 90.3 WHPC. Keep it where you got it.
I love this show so much. I've always described Motormouth Radio in terms of luxury, value, reliability. People are like, what's a radio show that's luxurious, valuable, and reliable? I'm like, Sunday afternoons on WHPC 90.3 FM. That's the one.
Oh, that's a promo bit. I'm going to isolate that today.
Did I just do a promo?
You did. I love it. This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Lynbrook and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar Lifetime Nationwide Warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available at 516-593-0920 or online at celebritychasecollision.com.
Hey, Brooklyn's our borough and everything's the best. The school, the guys, and the girls. And the reason Brooklyn girls are so foxy is Berta. B-E-R-T-A. Bird is a store for the girls with thousands of the latest disco looks in jeans, shirts, tops, skirts, and pants. But that's not all. Bird discounts everything. Everything! Because Bird ain't no rip. No way! There's 3 great stores. A Bird at Kings Highway and Coney Island Avenue. A Bird at Brighton Beach and Coney Island Avenue. A Bird at 65th Street and 18th Avenue. All with the same dynamite closing discount. And remember Birder's policy, money back in 10 days. And when you go, you get treated special. That's why you come back. Yeah!
Kings Highway and Brighton Beach stores open Sundays. And remember, Berta discounts everything. Everything.
Hey, you, get over here. Every Sunday, 12 to 1, you are going to tune in to hear the Motormouths, my friends Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. 90.3 FM, WHPC. You might learn something.
Yeah, you might. You got to go to shop to get the best clothes. I'm telling you, all the best boot bars in Brooklyn go to one place.
I have never heard of that store at all.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Look them up. They still come up when you look them up. They're still around, I think.
Where in the world did you find that fossil?
On my air check. Yeah, you know. But I'll tell you something. I was on a roll and I did something stupid. I found a website that I was really clipping a lot of cool stuff off of, and I didn't save it. And now I called these. Now I need more. Now I don't remember what website it was. So
what was just to find air checks?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think I searched for vintage. I think I searched for vintage 60s and 70s air checks.
Oh, there's a.
I found one yesterday, but it wasn't really what I wanted to.
You have to look at the Internet Archive.
I know. I found the big one that I know that you like. I found that one.
Yeah, that's the That is
What
an
the hell's that called?
amazing site. It's the Internet Archive, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing site.
Oh yeah.
It has a boatload. I mean, I find a lot of air checks because I'm an air check freak. You know
I
that.
know.
I listen to all of them. And it's just the way radio was, it was extraordinary when you hear it and hear the craft that was just a day in the life of radio, just playing music and spinning records and listening to the jocks and what they were saying and how they were saying it was just brilliant. And the Internet Archive is one of those places you can find them.
Absolutely.
And it totally brings you back. You know, I always found, I always had a problem with, and just touching a nerve here for a second, I always had a problem with listening to like shows of the past. Let's play the music of the past. And all of the hosts of the show would say, remember when you did that? And remember when you did that? And I always found that a little off-putting. It's like, yeah, remember, just play the music, you know?
Yeah,
but when you listen to the air checks, the music was being played as it was happening.
Right.
As you were listening to the Gimbals ad and as you were listening to the Castro convertible ad, you know, it was that sort of thing. It was there at that moment, at that time. And that to me, I found was much more valuable.
All right. Well, let's try the phones. We'll go to the line here and say, hi, caller. You're on with the Motor Mouths.
Hey, what's going on, boys? Long time no yap.
Mark.
Yeah. Hey.
Used to be in Levittown.
What rock did you crawl out from under? Good to hear.
What's up, brother love? How are you?
Yeah, all right. How you been, guys?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing a radio show. No one's listening. You know.
Hey, listen, I forget to listen to you guys half the time because it's weird up here in Pennsylvania. Anyway.
That's where you're keeping yourself now. Nice.
Yeah. Had to move a couple of years ago. There wasn't a lot for me on Long Island, so it is what it is.
I get
Crazy
it, my
prices
brother.
of houses and stuff.
Anyway,
hey, listen, Ray, I got a question for you. You too, Chris, I guess.
Yeah.
I have a, what is it? It's a 99 Mercury Sable station wagon with 110,000 miles on it.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Car's fine. You know, it's an old man's kind of car, you know, but sure. I'm old, so what the hell. And anyway.
We all are, my brother. We all are.
That's a great car.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it runs fine. It really does. But recently, over the past, 2 months, once in a while, it'll shift into second with a little clunk, not a lot, and even less time on occasion, it'll slip from first to second. And I back off on the gas, and it's fine. But it's fine afterwards, like for a long, long time. Now, I checked the fluid. It's up to speed. The fluid is still sort of red, actually. It does not smell burnt. Now, the question I have, should I change the filter in this thing and put back the old fluid that comes out?
Well, that was something that I know Chris likes to do.
You are touching a nerve, my son.
Yeah. You know, Mark, I bought a 31-year-old Camry that's been a topic of this show for a while now. And the same thing, it has 123 on it, and the tranny shifts a little erratically. Like it'll have a little bit of a late shift into fourth and then into fifth, and you can't just throw it into drive and take off. You need a second. And it's got, and I heard that it's common with these transmissions. So I did a fluid change, and it really didn't change anything. In my case, at least, they say it could be this shift solenoid controller. Mm-hmm. So I would look it up. I would to Google the issue and see if there's known common problems. But slipping is usually a little different. That's usually clutch related. And in that case, I could see why you'd want to use the old fluid because it would be softer.
Yeah, I remember a conversation we had. Well, you had with the air.
Yeah.
Where you changed all the fluid in one of your cars. And you put new stuff in, and you couldn't drive. It wouldn't go and drive or anything.
Yeah, it would slip out of high gear. Yeah, that's what you're very good, Mark. It's true. I had a Lincoln, and I swapped the fluid out with a filter, and it wouldn't shift into high gear. You get it on the highway, and it would stay in second. So I brought the car back, dumped the new fluid. Now, mind you, we're not talking about the exact amount here. We're talking about fluid that is now mixed with 12 quarts of old fluid. So you dump that, whatever it was, I dumped it out, and I put that old crap back in there. and it shifted fine after that. And then I sold the car because I knew it was on borrowed time at that point. So yeah, it's now you're taking the gamble. The car's got over 100,000 miles on it. Do you know when the last time the fluid was changed?
No, God.
Yeah, okay. That answers it.
I'm guessing the answer is no. Yeah,
the answer is no. So you can change the fluid, change the filter, keep the old fluid, right? Check the performance of the transmission. If it doesn't shift into high gear, if it slips even more, if it's not performing the way it was, then I would say dump it out, put that old fluid back in, and then sell the car.
Well, or you know what? Or there's another.
Put a new transmission in it.
Well, no, Chris, you got to with the vein that we've been going through on this show about forever cars and heads be buying a 31-year-old car that's going to be less trouble than a new car. Right. I would say, and like I've always said, the cheapest car to buy is the one you already own. So, Mark, if that car is good otherwise and you like it, so you put a tranny in it. You know what? You invest some money, and it's cheaper than buying a new piece of crap.
No, yeah. I mean, there's hardly any rust on it and everything. And again, it doesn't do it all the time. Just once in a blue, and it's like strange. I think maybe the filter's kind of funky. I don't know, but
that's a good place to start because I've dropped pans and seen filters that you couldn't see through. So I would start there. That's a good idea. And like I said, save the fluid, and you could even strain it. Strain it to get any particulate out of it, and then. And you can, put fresh in, and if that doesn't work, you could drain it and put the old stuff back in. Because a clogged filter is not going to like Chris's fuel filter.
There's something I saw on, where did I see it? I think it was on eBay. I was looking around, and there's something called Motorcraft, was it additive friction modifier or something like that?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that stuff, yeah.
And some people say they put it comes in a little, like, I guess, 8-ounce tube or something. And they say it takes care of a lot of problems, but I'm kind of leery about it. But it's a Motorcraft product, so how bad can it really be?
So let me ask you this: when you pull the dipstick, what do you see? What's the state of the fluid?
It's fine. It's not brand new red, but it's still red, and there's no smell.
Right. All right, well that's good. If it's pinkish, and then the chances are the fluid is the filter wouldn't be clogged unless I know people who have dumped fluid and just not changed the filter. So yeah, you know what I say. I'd like to know myself. I'd like to get in there, drop the pan, take a look at the filter, and don't be surprised when you see the price of a filter and gasket. Because last time I bought one, I was like, what did I break coming in here?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's doubled. It's doubled, whatever it is.
The filters are about $40 or $50 nowadays. Wix and whoever, Yeah,
you probably won't get Fram, so Wix is a great filter. So, yeah. And here's another tip: when you want to put that gasket on, buy a set of Permatex copper coat. It's an aerosol. I used to call it gasket cinch. You spray the gasket on both sides with that. It's like a metallic copper color stuff, and it just gets tacky. And you can set that gasket on the pan. Yep. And you don't need Permatex.
The only thing that bothers me, if I do this in the driveway, I'm going to have to go out and buy a kiddie pool or something to put under it because you know what happens.
Yeah, but you know what you do? Yeah, you need a drain. You need a good drain bucket, but you got to just work those bolts loose and then work one corner more than the other. So just let one corner drop. And you'll get most of it. And you can do that cold. You don't have to do that job with the tranny hot. So
yeah, and Mark, believe me, invest in one of those big pans.
Yeah.
And then knock a nail in the rafter in your garage and just hang it on there so it's out of the way.
I have 3 of them. I have two metal ones, one plastic one.
I have one plastic one that has been through hell and back with me, and I still have it.
The best thing I bought, this thing has got to be...
Hey, Mark, you should see where Ray's hands are right now.
My arms are out shoulder width. It's got to be like 30 inches across, and it's a round black disc with a very slight funnel to it, and in the bottom of that disc is a circle with a bunch of holes in it. You put that's made for in the shop. You put it up on the oil drain machine. Now you have 30-inch. So when you drop a tranny, you're going to catch all that fluid. It's not going to overflow.
But it's also going to be too tall for Mark to slide under the car if he's got the car.
No,
in
it's
the
not
air.
tall. It's not tall.
It's not.
It's actually kind of shallow, believe it or not.
All right.
It really is.
Yeah, what's in the pan? About I guess 3 or 4 quarts.
Yeah.
That's about what you're going to get out of it. You're going to get about 3 or 4 quarts are going to come out. And that's, it's funny, Mark, because that's what I do with the Mazda, my CX-9. I can't access the filter on the car. So I have to just change the fluid. And that's what I do. Like every 10,000, every 15,000 miles, I dump out, believe it or not, it's 84 ounces come out, and I put 84 ounces back in.
A lot of people
That's
do.
it. And that's what I do. So, and so far, I'm knocking on wood here. Things have been good.
I'll tell you what, I brought that drain attachment that I have to the shop one day to do something, probably a transmission. And Mike came over looking, he goes, "What the heck is that?" And I'm like, "What? I thought everybody in the world knew what this was." And I forgot, no, he's a body guy. He came up in a body shop, not in a mechanic shop. Every mechanic shop always had one of those because, like I said, it's wide enough that you can get, it'll come under the whole transmission pan, and you bring it way up. You bring the thing way up, so it's only a couple inches away from the tranny pan.
Right.
And it makes for a very clean transmission fluid change.
It catches everything.
And the thing, it doesn't weigh anything. I stick it on top of my compressor. It lives up there because where else are you going to put it?
That's what I mean. Knock a nail in the rafter in the garage and hang it there because it can't go anywhere else.
Right. Great to have them. Great.
Yeah.
Give it a shot, guys. Look, I take up enough of your time.
Well, no, you know what, Mark? I'm glad to hear from you again. And your assignment now is once you do service that, get back to us and let us know how you made out.
Yep, I will. Hey, listen, I sent you an email, I guess, about 2 weeks ago, whatever, and you sent something back. You asked me a couple of questions, and by the time I remembered to do it, I mean, I had my Thunderbird program set to delete after like 5 or 8 days or something because it just keeps building and building, and there's a million emails. And I went to get it, and I said, damn, it's gone. But anyway, listen, how did you like that lawnmower?
That was pretty cool. Mark sent me a video of a guy who put like a big block Chevy in a lawn tractor, and he's driving down the road. That was pretty sick. That's, I guess that's a PA thing, huh?
Well, I don't know what it was, but it was loud and the damn thing was quick. Let me tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing better to do with your time.
It looked dangerous.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the tires, you can't be taking those kind of tires at 60 miles an hour. It's President Blow.
I'm looking at lateral, like any kind of turn, I'm thinking the thing's going to just tip right over.
They don't handle.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Roll and roll.
Yeah, very good.
Anyway, okay, guys, keep up the good work. I'll be chatting with you soon.
All right, Mark, thanks.
Sounds good.
Take care. Enjoy your day.
All right, so long.
Bye.
So there you go. You're talking about old shows. There was an old caller. Mark was a regular for many years.
Yeah, exactly. The man that can alter inspection stickers.
It's kind of odd, I've seen this happen. We've seen this happen where people move and then they don't call the show anymore. It's like the phone still works. It's like nobody knows where he's got a 516 number.
Right, exactly.
So, still. He didn't change his phone number, so
yeah, they don't realize that they could pick it up on the internet, which is, and I love picking it up on the internet. It's great. It's great. So anyway, I just want to get back real fast about how crud ruined a little bit of my day. Okay. I have a hatch handle in the back of the CX-9 that literally has less and less movement. It only moved a little bit, like you only had to push it like maybe less than an inch in order to activate the hatch to open it up. And the hatch is motorized everywhere. So you hit the button and you hit, and then the hatch, slowly opens up, like some horror movie. And that's how you basically access it from outside. From inside, there's obviously a button on the dash. So the switch stopped working. The outside hatch stopped working.
Oh, so, like my Cruise, the same thing. The button stopped working the trunk.
Right. So what I had to do was I ordered another handle, and the handle had an arm affair with a micro switch. Okay. And when you pulled on the handle, you activated the micro switch and basically ran the motor. The motor wasn't part of the handle, though, thankfully. So I said, all right, I'll just swap this out in an afternoon. So what I did was I had to pull the back panel off the back of the hatch. And in order to do that, you had to pull the top panel first, then the side panels, then the back panel. Now it's a matter of pulling all these plastic pieces off without breaking the panel or the clips.
Right.
So it was an involved process. And once I got that all off, to make a long story longer, now I got access to that handle.
I'd love to see the tool you use for the clips. That's what I want.
I was using all the plastic stuff. I didn't use a screwdriver to pry anything.
They make special tools for those clips to extract them.
And I have one. It's a pair of pliers that actually does this.
Yeah. That's good.
Separates like that. So, and that came in very handy for this job. So I was able to do that. And before I got the handle out, the handle wouldn't come out because there's a bezel that sits above the license plate where you reach in under. That had to come out.
Yeah, same as the Cruise, believe it or not.
So, right, exactly. That's why I'm thinking about this. So that had to come out. And now, mind you, I wasn't putting the hatch back down because I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to get it back up again. So I'm standing on a 5-gallon spackle bucket and working that way to get the panel off. And now, of course, once the panel's off, I got to clean everything around it. But one way or another, I was able to swap out the handle and it worked. But I realized what the problem was from the old handle was it had a spring in it that literally looked like it was just ready to crumble in a million pieces. It looked like someone pulled it out of a pond. The shaft where the handle hinged on was just terrible. It was in such disgusting shape that I think what ruined it was pulling on that handle. That crud kept that handle pushed onto the micro switch and cook the micro switch.
Yeah, it could be.
It's the only thing I could figure.
You can check the switch with an ohm meter.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I have it sitting on a bench because I swear to you, I am not buying another one of those things because they were like $200.
Wow.
So yeah. So
I got the switch for the Cruise with the harnesses and the 2 license plate lights on Amazon for like $30.
Yeah. You said it's a quick swap. Yeah. So I used all the existing stuff. I just changed the handles.
Okay. All right. So that's going to be it. Chris, what do we tell the people waiting for me out in the parking lot?
Don't follow us home unless you got a good Mazda CX-9 rear hatch handle.
I'll look for you when I get out there. All right, so for Chris Switzer, Ray Guarino, we'll be back with more Motormouth Radio next week. The Corvette guy, the road the book was supposed to come in this week, but he didn't. Him and Lake Speed are both in a holding pattern for us, so we'll see if we can get one of them on. And we'll be back next week with more Motormouth Radio on 90.3 WHPC. See ya.
Thank you, Mark, for listening. See you, bye.